Oh! Hello and welcome back to We Watched a Movie.
Alright, Dr. Pepper.
Goddamn!
God, dude, no.
I'm Mike and he's Jay and this is a Doctor Strange...
Let's fucking do that. How do they do that?
This is a Doctor Strange spoiler review. I mean, honestly, it probably wouldn't take you. It took him, what, 8-9 minutes to learn?
This movie was 1,000,000 miles an hour, so yeah, I'm done. Yeah, that's... Okay, first off, this is spoiler like he said, so everything we're going to talk about now is spoiling the shit out of this movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this and go watch the other one that we just did that was a non-spoiler. So first off, I want to say... How the fuck, when you go to Tibet or wherever you went to learn from the Ancient One, can you just circle your hands and shit, all of a sudden you start sparking magic?
It took no time.
I was sitting there after the movie, I was like, how do I do this?
This movie is about what happens when you give grown men sparklers.
I know,
It's basically just fucking sparklers.
He was sparking the shit the first time he was doing it. He was like,
did they give him a pill? Is it a blue flower?
It was amazing to see.
Death does not wait!
Maybe that's because he's Stephen Strange or not. Okay, so spoiler on this one. So basically, man has great hands, man is a doctor, man gets hurt, man goes to Ancient One, man gets mystic arts and sorcerer supreme. It's that quick.
I really did want to go to Taco Bell and try to order. Taco Bell missed a huge opportunity right here because Taco Bell could have easily marketed a burrito and called it the Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
sponsored by Marvel.
Yeah,
Sorcerer Supreme burrito.
I thought they were gonna
it's
have
so good, it's magic.
You know how like Taco Bell for a while had controversy around is it real meat or not? They could put a burrito and it's like strange meat.
Yeah, you could have a Doctor Strange burrito.
Can I get a strange? Can I get a strange burrito and a taco as well? It's like, you want a strange burrito?
I don't know.
I'm gonna give you a strange burrito. It's got fucking horse meat in it. Like, who knows what it's gonna be? It's a question mark. So anyway. I want to get. We talked about the hand movements and how quick he learns all this stuff, and he picks it up rapidly because he does in the movie. You also find out later on in the film that the Ancient One is drawing power from the Forbidden Realm, which elongates her life. And when they dropped that big old fucking piss pot surprise on everybody, nobody reacted. Like they were just like. Yeah.
It's like these YouTube bodybuilders. Are they natty or are they on steroids? Like, who knows? That she was on steroids, and then we found out, and then his sidekick, not his sidekick, but I cannot remember the guy's name.
Who? Mordo.
Yeah, Mordo. Gets all butthurt about it. And that's one of my main things is he was fucking terrible. I don't care how many reviews I read that say he was great in this movie. He was so over the top and goddamn awful, I can't take it. I don't know if it was supposed to be comedic. Was it supposed to be funny? But he was so overly serious and terrible and it wasn't funny that it was just bad.
Stephen Strange should have asked the Ancient One, because that's the one thing I would have asked. It's like, if you're drawing all this power from the dark world and you've been living for a long time and you've got all this power, how come you can't grow hair? What's wrong with you? Because you could have a nice mullet. But anyway, so that was a joke, obviously. But okay, so the main bad guy in this movie is Dormammu. He looked like fucking Zordon. Like he was just a big giant face in a mystical realm. And it was so weird how he even confronted Dormammu, because he's like, after they defeat, one of the main villains in it, and he's like, okay guys, I'm gonna jump back in this portal. I'll see you later. And he jumps in and it's like Universal Studios Hollywood. And he's like having like this cool, it's not even that cool. It's just like, I'm on a ride now, and a big Zordon face pops out. I was like, I am Mordor. Dormammu. And then he has the Time Gem, which I did like. The Time Gem is introduced. I think everybody suspected it was in the Eye of Agamotto. Mr. Lobato, Agamotto. But it was in the Eye of Agamotto, and he uses the Time Gem, and basically Groundhog Days Dormammu to death, because he keeps killing him, and he keeps coming back, and Dormammu's like, how does it stop? I just want to go home! Because he keeps killing Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange's like, as long as I'm in this time loop, you'll never get out. And he's like, how many times? He's like, what do I gotta do?
He keeps killing him, he's like, and then it's like, he kills him again, he's like,
Yeah,
and then
he's jumping back.
He's like, what the fuck?
Dormammu at this point, he's like, alright, I don't even want to kill you anymore. It's like, I just want to get out of this nightmare. Like, I got to go to sleep. And he's like, okay, well just go away and never come back.
Sorcerer Supreme and now I'm hungry.
That sounds like a fucking pizza topping.
It sounds
like a pizza.
Sounds like a burrito, dude.
But yeah, I mean, overall, this movie is just not like, I don't know, it didn't live up to the hype that, well, I don't know if there was really the hype. Well, no, there was, because they released really cool trailers, I will say that. And they built it up a little bit of a hype train to it. But again, it goes 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it really does, the plot is kind of out there. It's not bad, it's just, it's weak in some areas. It doesn't really, there's no coagulance to the overall story. Now, the overall arc, and how they introduce Doctor Strange into I already talked about this in the non-spoiler, into the cinematic universe of Marvel, that is cool. I do like that. I do like that they're introducing the Time Gem. I think that's the last gem. I'm not positive.
I don't know.
I don't either. Maybe there's one more gym that we haven't seen yet, but I think the Soul Gym maybe. But either way, the Dick Gym,
Cock Gym.
The Dick Gym is just in the States of a penis. You would know what that was immediately. But and it's held by
Ron Jeremy.
He does have it. Anyway, but it's cool to see that. And the bonus ending on this one is also he meets up with Thor, and it leads into Ragnarok because he's telling Thor.
The bonus ending was badass.
It was great.
Love the bonus ending.
The bonus ending. He's basically telling Thor, he's like, look, so all I got to do is send you back to wherever, and you're gonna go away.
He kept filling up his beer.
Yeah, I know.
And Thor didn't really question it. Like, by the way, he tanked that fucking beer, man. It was gone in 2 seconds.
That's Viking power.
That's what Thor does. But then, like, they flash back to Stephen Strange for a second, and then they go back to Thor, and all of a sudden the beer's filling back up, and he's like, oh, oh well. Like, he doesn't question it for a second. That was a great scene. That was funny as hell. As soon as you put Chris Hemsworth in it, everything, the charisma factor, everything went up. It was great. That was one of Marvel's. They've had a couple of shitty after sequence scenes, like fucking Howard the Duck. I mean, suck my ass. But that one was really good.
I like Howard the Duck. But yeah, you're right. They have sometimes failed on the after credit scenes. Like there was, I don't know what the one that was Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, and he was just giving him advice. It was at Iron Man 3, wasn't it? Well, it was at the end of Iron Man 3, the bonus ending. It was just basically Bruce Banner talking to Tony Stark, and he's like, I'm not a therapist. When he's laying on the couch, that was kind of shitty.
A couple of them have been shitty, and also a couple of Stan Lee cameos have been shitty.
Did you like Stan Lee in this one?
Fuck no, it was shit. All of a sudden there's stuff going on, and all of a sudden the camera zooms into a bus, and Stan Lee's like, I'm reading a comic, and then they went away.
I do like Stan Lee.
I like that they do it, but dude, do something cooler than that. And the last one where he called Tony Stank, that was good.
We're not saying that Benedict Cumberbatch didn't own this role. He
killed it.
He owned the role.
He's
He is Doctor Strange. I'm excited to see how he's going to interact, because the interaction that he had with Chris Hemsworth at the bonus end was great. The interaction he's going to have with Robert Downey Jr. is going to be amazing with Tony Stark.
That's what it comes down to at the end of the day for me in this movie. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, his cape, his outfit, and him. Badass, perfect. They did a great job with that. That's where I gave it a 6 ultimately, but that's where most of my 6 came from, was him alone as Stephen Strange and as Doctor Strange, and his whole get up and the way they did it. I can't wait to see him, as you said, interact with the other Avengers. That was perfect. They nailed it. But he was in a bad movie. Not terrible. There was stuff I liked in it, but it was in just a whatever movie.
This was that
great. It was Thor 2: The Dark World for me.
Yeah, The Dark World.
Right there with it.
It's what it is, and it is a kid-friendly movie. It's overly kid-friendly in some ways, and you would never think that Doctor Strange movie would be like that'd be like saying, okay, I'm gonna go see Ghost Rider or Blade, and you go and see it. And then you're like, I can take my kids to see
It's fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. It's way too Disney. The fight scene, dude, when they come out of body and they're fighting, it's like the Frighteners. They got this whimsical music playing over top of it. It's awful. There's nothing at stake. It's just, of course, the whole galaxy's at stake. It's always fucking at stake. As I said last time, give me something emotional and personal to hang on to. And they didn't with him. There's no character arc whatsoever. He just goes to this mountain, and he's like, I don't believe in this horse shit. And they're like, well, get the fuck out. After they show him the kitty cat in the cosmic t-shirt universe, which was cool. The tiny hands.
Oh yeah, I know you.
Tiny hands.
I like tiny hands.
That was badass.
Take my strong hand.
But then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm a master supreme.
But and that's fine.
Ready to go.
You know what I think they wanted to do? I think they just wanted to really quick lay out the foundation of Doctor Strange, because they knew they had to go to the metaphysical. They knew they had to go into this area because they have to do the Infinity Stones. And Doctor Strange was a big part of the Infinity Gauntlet comic book series. It sucks that you're not going to see Silver Surfer, because Silver Surfer was also a massive part of it too. But in this instance, they really needed Doctor Strange in the Infinity War, because Infinity Gauntlet, he's very central to the whole thing of how the Avengers and the rest of the heroes fight against Thanos. Now, saying that, again, Benedict Cumberbatch, I don't think they could have picked a better guy for that. Yeah. It fell flat, man. It sucks, because the reason why I was so hard on this movie, and I gave it a 7.5 ultimately. I mean, I did enjoy it to a point. But the reason why I'm so hard on this movie is because the potential was there for it to be so mind-trippy good. I mean, it did have the Inception and Matrix stuff in it, which everybody wanted to see, and they knew that was going to be there. And they do that pretty effectively, but overall, it's just, with the plot around it, it's just not woven together in a way that makes sense with the special effects and everything else going on. Yeah. The overall reaching aspects of what Doctor Strange will be later on is cool.
Huge.
But I'm almost thinking like it's the fact that you made Doctor Strange just a secondary character in his own movie. It's like Doctor Strange is cool as fuck on his own, but now because of this movie and the way that it was shot and the way that it was written, it's like he was only effective and good now with is he going to be, he's just going to be the background character in Avengers movie, you know what I mean? Like he'll be great in those sequences when he's with Tony Stark and when he's with Thor and he's with Steve Rogers and all those interactions, but he's not
I'm not pumped for Doctor Strange too.
I know, but it's like you're saying that Doctor Strange isn't good enough for us to write a really cool story around him. You know what? The guy that directed this, and that's what he looked him up. He did like what?
Scott Derrickson. He did Sinister.
Sinister,
too.
and
not Sinister too.
Sinister, but you would have think. I'm saying when I was talking about, I wanted the darkness, and I wanted like the sci-fi horror.
You wanted the darkness, Michael.
The darkness is always there. But I wanted all that cool stuff like that was in the comic books to be in this, and just for them to be like, for one moment, Marvel Disney to say, I got a nutsack and I'm gonna put it up and I'm gonna fucking show it the way that Doctor Strange. I'm not saying make it rated R. I'm not saying that at all, but make it a little bit scary, make it tense, make it kind of like out there, because that's what ultimately Doctor Strange deals with. Like that, I would never expect to go see a Ghost Rider movie and expect it to be like whatever.
I didn't expect it to be rated R either. I didn't expect it to be rated R either. I know what Marvel is and I know what Marvel does, but I didn't expect it to be Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion remake either. When they're in the house and they're fighting and shit, it was just like it was way too much. And even the villain, Matt Mikkelsen, badass dude, see what kind of villain Bond villain he was?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. And he was good. Like, he shined at certain moments. But there's one point where you guys see where he gets him tied up in that thing and he's sitting like this and he's stuck and he's like, they just made it a big joke. They made it a big comedic joke. Like, this guy's murdering people with his whimsical staff of wonder, and like, it's like someone just died, but then they're cracking jokes they don't care 5 minutes later. It's just, nothing actually matters. The same problem I had with parts of Civil War, they didn't have the balls, as you said, the sack, to go through and actually make the movie memorable.
Make things
actually happen.
Make somebody die.
Something.
Kill Cat.
And I like the Master or whatever.
Ancient one?
John Daly. The Masters.
Ooh.
I don't know. No, the Ancient
one.
The
Ancient
one. I like the Ancient one like you did. I thought she was good. The training sequences I thought were going to be great. They blew. It was just fucking sparklers.
It was just so fast, man. It was just so fast.
And all of a sudden he steals a book, and that was a funny scene, but he steals the book, and they're like, what are you doing? Oh, you shouldn't be able to do that. You must be the greatest.
Yeah.
Stephen Strange!
Now you want to roll? Oh, they all down and suck your dick. But yeah, I mean, it was rushed. It was rushed. I mean, that's all I can say about it. Otherwise, I did enjoy certain aspects of it, like I've already said. Special effects sometimes are really good, sometimes they're not. Sometimes the acting is, I think, okay, I'll take that back. I think the acting is good.
Except for Mordo.
Mordo. I keep on saying, it's fucking Lord of the Rings.
Mork and Morty.
Other than that guy, but it was still overall, 95% of the acting was great, and it buoys it for the most part. And I enjoyed it. I'll watch it again just to kind of get a better idea of it. But yeah, dude, and it's not because I'm against magic movies. Like, I'm not like anti-Harry Potter movies and shit. Like, I'm like, oh, because it's whimsical. But this is definitely a D&D Dungeon Master's wet dream. This movie is all about the fucking things, and that's cool, and I don't mind that at all. I like Thor. I thought Thor was fucking amazing. The first Thor was great. I thought it was an amazing movie. It dealt with mysticism and magic.
But they tried to take something that was underground, like really like honed in on like the many specific things and many dorkisms to it, and they tried to stamp it with this mainstream Disney shit, and it just came out false. So it's a 6 for me. It's a 7.5 for you. I want to go deeper with the spoilers, but honestly, guys, I forgot most of the fucking movie when I left.
That's the bad thing. Like I was trying to remember when I was leaving the theater, and I was like, what's happened? And I was like, when I was watching it, I could feel it leaking. Like, it was like I was watching it, and then I was like, where are you going? Like,
that was your ass.
I was leaking.
You had too many Sorcerer Supremes.
It's fucking that diarrhea. I knew I smelled something. I have Agamotto fix! That would be cool if you were a Sorcerer Supreme, though. You could, like, if you shit your pants, and, like, if you sharted, if you went over to a bit, like, cut a fart, and you sharted, and you'd be like, I have and you could like suck the fucking shit back up and like fix your undies. But anyway, yeah, it was leaking out of my ear. You're right, and it's bad to say that. You know why you forget movies like that? It was hard for me to remember the Thor: Dark World because they're just not good enough. They don't stick with you.
I gotta do it, man. I wasn't gonna do it. I gotta
Don't do it.
This is my question of the day.
Don't do it.
My question of the day is this. And we've been accused of being DC lovers.
Fuck you, dude.
I love DC, and I love Marvel the same. That's my truth.
Yes.
I don't believe it or not. I don't give a fuck. I'll be honest either way it goes. But if you put those two movies next to each other, which one would I watch? I'm going to tell you right now, I'd watch Green Lantern first. And this has a lot of the problems Green Lantern had. It had a lot of the same problems. But everybody's like, oh, this is fucking great. Green Lantern's goddamn garbage pail. I liked Green Lantern, and I realized it sucked.
You are insane!
A lot of it fucking sucked, especially the suit, the CGI suit. There's main problems with it, but I like Green Lantern. I find it entertaining. Even though it's a shit movie at points, I like Green Lantern. Fuck it! I'm out!
You like Green Lantern?
I'm out of the magical closet.
You like Green Lantern more than this?
I like Green Lantern more than this movie. And certain people are going to be like, who the fuck are you? I'm unsubscribing. Suck a dick, Choncho. And I don't care. I have to be honest, and that's what I'm going to do. And my question is to you. I think some people, maybe one, maybe two, if 6 to 8,000
We're like
people watch
-8
this,
right now.
I gotta be honest. Which one do you like better?
Are you asking
Not
me?
which one's better. Which one do you find more entertaining, and which one would you watch?
You asking me?
I'm asking you, Jay.
Hacksaw Ridge.
So, you don't want to admit it.
I'll admit something. I'll admit it.
All right.
I like Green Lantern. I like it.
Which one would you watch?
Fuck it. All right, that's a hard question, man.
They have a lot of the same problems.
They have
you get
problems.
trained way too quick.
They
The
do.
training sequences are hokey. They're total bullshit. The love interest is like.
I didn't hate GL. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people fucking hate it.
Only difference is in this one they nailed Stephen Strange as a character,
Yeah.
so I give them the huge point over that one. I'd rather see Stephen Strange in a further movie than I would Ryan Reynolds
As
Green Lantern in a Justice League.
That's
movie.
because Ryan Reynolds was handled wrong. I mean, first off,
Right.
Hal Jordan
Not
should
his
never-
fault.
Yeah, he should never been as jokey as he was. Like that
Right.
was more Kyle Rayner.
But at the end of the day, whole movie, not the character, but the movie, I'd rather watch Green Lantern.
Isotoners.
Comment down below, let us know what your fucking thoughts are. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in
Don't
you.
be strange.
Ha!